Hi guys, first of all let me do some housekeeping and say sorry if the quality is a bit off. I've lent my camera out to my lovely daughter, so she's using it at the moment, but I've managed to borrow an old Fujifilm bridge camera which I'm using to video this camera because I want to use my Fuji here in the shot. So now, why have I got all these? And also the sound quality might be off because it has no hot shoe or input jack for my Rode microphone. Nevertheless, the important thing is here in front of me, and this is my examination of native lenses against vintage lenses which can be used on your modern day camera, your DSLR or mirrorless camera. Now this came about, I've been thinking about it for a while, but recently someone asked me through comments what adapter they needed for this camera, and I was explaining to them. Then made me think, I've got my vintage lenses and I rarely use them, so why not use them and compare them against my far more expensive native lenses. Now obviously there's the big difference between all of them, apart from maybe quality of glass, I don't know yet, is that these are autofocus because they're a native lens, and I'm not gonna be buying an expensive I forgot what they're called now, those adapters that have autofocus in for some cameras. These are just dummy adapters, plain, no electric circuits. So with mirrorless cameras it's very easy to use vintage lenses because you have things like peaking or split focus, which makes it very easy, as I've already said. So in the spirit of experiments and science of sorts, I'm going to be examining the difference between these vintage lenses that I have here against my two Fuji lenses. Now what I've got here is my 35mm f1.4 lens and my 55 to 200mm Fuji lens f3.5 to 4.5. Both great lenses. I love this lens for doing portraits, this as well, but I want to keep to these two lenses. But I have in front of me a number of other lenses that I could utilize in my arsenal of lenses without having to go and spend more, because basically I haven't got more to spend. So let's go through them. I've done a review on this lens. It's the Jupiter 8 50mm f2. Now I love this lens, especially when used with the Fuji. It gives brilliant color for shots. I'm not using it for video, but when I'm taking stills, the character, the color that it produces, and I rarely use it. And I don't know why. Maybe it's about time that I do start using it, because manual focus is not such a big deal when you have peaking. So this is the this is the Jupiter 50mm f2. So on the Fuji it'll be about 85mm equivalent, because it's a 1.6 or 1.5 crop factor. Now this lens I was looking for a long time. I had it when I had my film Olympus OM1, and this is the Olympus Zucchio 50mm f1.8 lens. I love this lens for videoing. I use it on my Panasonic Lumix lens all the time because it gives me that shallow depth of field that my 14mm native Panasonic lens cannot do. It's a 2.5, but it can't give me that shallow depth of field, but this one can. This is a 50mm again, so equivalent on the Panasonic, because 2 times the X-factor would be 100mm equivalent. There's this one. Now to have some sort of comparison with my 55mm f2, so f3, let me start that again. So to have some comparison of my 55 to 200mm lens f3.5, I have this Vivitar lens, which is actually in pristine condition, and it's a f2.8 to 3.8, so it's a wide aperture lens, and it's 55, where is it? It's 35 to 70. Add a 2, so that would be, let's say the maximum length is about 100mm, 110, something like that. Add a extender, and maybe a 200, so it's similar focal length. So I'll be matching the Vivitar with its extender against the Fuji zoom lens, and the other two, while they're not exact, because this is only 50mm equivalent, it's gonna have to do. That's all I've got. So this is a two-part series. I'm gonna be, first of all, in the second part, in this part, I'm gonna just looking at the lenses, quick look over the construction, and in part two I will be actually taking all of these lenses out with me and testing them out in the field and seeing what they're like. Right, so let's start looking quickly at these lenses. This is Jupiter 8 50mm f2. Now there's a lot of these, you can get these quite cheaply on eBay. I paid £40 I think for this, and I was very fortunate that I've got a good copy, because they were made in Russia just after the Second World War, and the company that made it weren't too skilled necessarily at making lenses. The high precision required provided by modern day lenses wasn't really here on the Jupiter lenses, so you get different, each lens has its own character in many ways. Now when you're buying Jupiter lenses, you have to be really careful and look at the description and look at the feedback on the seller and try and work out whether it's going to be a dud or not. Often the case is people who sell vintage lenses are photographers, and they don't often like to rip off. Not to say then that there are people not like that, but they're often honest, and you can sometimes tell if you buy from the description if you're going to get that. So be careful when buying Jupiter lenses. But this is extremely smooth, so smooth it's unbelievable. The focus, everything is silky smooth, and I'm so glad I got this lens. But I've let myself down in the lens by not using it. It just sits there in my cupboard. So from now on I'm going to take it out a lot more. And that's the 50mm, built like a brick, you know what. Let's move this around. Again, another strong, the 50mm f1.8 Zucchio Olympus lens, OM lens. Now this is another great lens, built again very solid. There's nothing going to break on this. Got a lovely smooth aperture. The focus, no, aperture is click, so you know exactly, but it all works fine. The focus is again silky smooth, and the quality of image I get from this is particularly nice as well. But what I love it most for is for video work. I use it on my Lumix, and I get that beautiful bokeh in the background, which is sometimes hard, or it's impossible to do with my lens I have at the moment on my Lumix. So that is a lovely lens, but for this purpose I'm going to use them all on the Fuji, and I've never really used on the Fuji before, so it'll be interesting to see. Now this lens, Vivitar lens, 35mm to 70, had some mixed reviews on the net. Research, I had no idea what this is about, what lens. Vivitar were one of those companies, a bit like Rokinon, that made lenses for a number of other companies. I think it's a macro lens. Again, this one is in pristine condition, no marks. Extremely well, it feels really well made, and it is again silky smooth. I'm not too sure about the quality of this. I have to give it a go. It is f2.8 to 3.8. Again, a fast lens, well made, and in many ways most of these old lenses were extremely well made. I'm not sure about the quality of the Vivitar, but we'll soon find out when we do the test. This is the OM mount, OM adapter, OM to FX. If you're looking to do this as well for your Fuji, is OM to FX. You find they're quite easy to find on eBay, again, adapters. Now the Jupiter lens is a M39 lens mount, that's the type. So I've got an M39 to FX mount. Right, so let's have a look at the Fuji's lens. Now, not want to be biased, these are actually somewhat lighter than these smaller lenses. Yeah, but again, beautifully made lens. Can you hit? Well, let me not touch it. Fuji lenses are amazing. So smooth. You got the aperture ring on the lens, just like the old style. Makes it far more easier to use when you've got it than trying to go on the camera. Again, in many ways, when you're using a Fuji camera, you feel like you're back using the old manual cameras. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem adapting these lenses and using them in everyday situations on my Fuji, because I do sometimes use these lenses in manual focus rather than autofocus all the time. But this is a beautiful lens. I know there's another lens that I was recommended to buy, the 35mm f2, but I went for the f1.4. Now this is a highly rated lens as well, the 55-200. Again, the aperture on the ring, just like the old ones, always set, but it has no markings. I'm not sure why they did that. Whereas the 35mm has all the markings, the f-stops. This has VR control, so image stabilizer. You can put it to auto or manual. Again, when you're using a Fuji, it does give you the manual experience. So I'm hoping that will fall in my favor when looking at the lenses. So here they are, the 5 lenses, the 5 liner, all extremely well made. There's not one here that I think is a badly made lens. Fortunately, not my duplicate could have been, but it's very well constructed, very lovely lens. So here they are, the lineup. The 35mm will go against the Jupiter and the Olympus. Not exactly the same focal length, but it will have to do. And these two will go against each other. Now let's look at prices. £399, and I think brand new, that's brand new. I think this one goes around 600 or 550, brand new. This I bought for £40. This I bought at the photography show, was very fortunate, you won't believe it, £5. No dust in it, no marks, £5 for this lens. And this I think was £20. So altogether 20, 60, £65, let's say 600, nearly £1,000 compared to £60. Are the qualities going to be so widely apart as the prices? I don't know. People say, well, you're not going to using manual lenses are pain, you've got autofocus, and it is, but photographers did it in the old days, so why not I give it a try? That's going to be in part 2, so do look out for that. Going to look at these lenses, take them in different situations, do some shots, and I'll come back with the results. So look out for part 2. Thanks for watching, guys. Do subscribe. We've got a very special video coming up. I now have all my parts ordered for my video and photo editing computer, so that my current one is going for sale. Then when all the parts arrive, I will be doing a PC build video, especially for photographers and videographers. So it's going to be very specific to our industry or our craft. If someone's interested in doing building a PC that's going to suit their photography and video needs without breaking the bank and going for the top Intel ones, because mine's an AMD build, so keep a lookout for that. And also I've got some very interesting reviews coming up. The Sun Sniper rotor ball strap, and a small gimbal for smartphones. I will have 2 smartphones to review as well, and hopefully drone, but not the overly expensive one. While the quality is good, DJI, but something else that perhaps many people can afford that may not be able to afford a DJI. So keep a lookout for that. But for now, it's new versus old. and they're all going to be used manually, no autofocus. See you guys, see you in the next video. Please do subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like it, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye.